Hello, everybody. Joshua Hatton here with Single Cask Nation. We've gotten a few requests, whether by email or Facebook message or text or tweet or what have you, where people are looking for us to do a few more video reviews of our whiskeys. And it's true, we should have been doing this the whole time. I know we've done some reviews all the way up to, I think it was our Glen Murray 12-year-old, the Madeira cask, and the Lafroig 5-year-old. But a lot of our retail stuff, especially our newer stuff, we haven't done reviews on. So I wanted to start doing that. And I thought a good place to start would be our most recent Cambus 28-year-old single grain Scotch whiskey. This one has been causing a bit of a stir lately, both on Instagram and Twatterton, and also on our Facebook page. There's been people asking about it and posting pictures. So there it is, 28 years old. Most of that 28 years in a bourbon barrel. The final 6 months of its life, we had this go into a fresh muscatel barrique, muscatel sherry barrique. And we got 252 bottles from that cask. Interestingly enough, when we took the liquid from the bourbon barrel and then put it into the muscatel barrique, the original liquid was probably closer to 46%, almost 47%. But when you finish a whiskey, when you re-rack it, you tend to lose some alcohol, and this time we lost, I don't know, somewhere around 4%, somewhere around there. So while that was sad to see, the good thing is the experiment worked. You know, when you finish a whiskey, you're not finishing it because it's a perfect whiskey that you want to make better. A perfect whiskey is a perfect whiskey. Anytime a whiskey is finished, it's done because that whiskey either needs to be fixed, or you need to add some dimension to the whiskey, or sometimes you do it to hide some imperfections in the whiskey. In this case, there were no imperfections. If anything, I would say the whiskey was doing one or two really good things, but just not enough. So we liked it, but it needed more dimension. It needed some extra things going on. So we took this nice grain, 28 years old, we put it into muscatel just to bring in some more fruit, to bring in a bit more character, and we were really happy with the final result. So let's talk about the whiskey. Let's nose it. I mean, it's a good, 10 a.m. right now? So what better time to be exploring this whiskey than early morning, brunch time, if you will. Some of the notes that come to me off the bat, and if anybody's come to one of my tastings that I've done, I talk about this a lot because it just comes to the fore. It is sugared strawberries on angel food cake, and what I love about it is on top of that is Cool Whip. Not like good whipping cream, Cool Whip. Delicious, artificial everything Cool Whip. It's really rich. It's got even a waxy texture on the nose, which I quite like. A bit of a citrusy thing going on, like a tart kumquat kind of thing, or maybe like, mandarin skin, something like that. But a really inviting nose. Not a lot of prickle. I mean, you're looking at 42.6% alcohol. So the alcohol is not stabbing your nose in any way. Yeah. Yep. Happy with this one. All right. Down the hatch. That waxy texture on the nose translates perfectly to the palate. It's exactly what you look for. Really nice. What's interesting with grain is when they're distilling grain, they're bringing the alcohol up to over 80%, sometimes quite a bit higher. And you would think that during the distillation process, a lot of those oils would be stripped out. But in this case, there's a lot of oil coming through, and whether that's wood driven, I can't really say, but it's got a really rich texture to it. Now, 28 years ago would have been, that's 1988, so Cambus at that time would have been using wheat as the main grain, so about 10% malted barley to kickstart the fermentation process, and then about 90% unmalted wheat in the grain. Here's where some of that muscatel kind of comes through. Strawberries, cranberry for sure, like a cranberry cocktail. Sweetness, almost lychee. Hints of perhaps unripe pineapple in there, really nice. Wow. All right, one last sip here. Sort of light, warm honey quality comes through. Finish, it's pretty, it's floral, it's delicate. Just a hint, maybe a touch of pepperiness coming through in the finish. Yeah, it's what I like about this is A, it's an easy drinker, but B, if you want to pick apart the flavors, you definitely can. And I think that the 6 months in that muscatel, it did wonders to this whiskey. And it's kind of a nice thing to know that it doesn't take long to take a good whiskey, a decent whiskey, and make it a great whiskey. That's why often you see some of these finishes, they're 6 months, sometimes a year, sometimes more than that. But you don't, good wood being used means you don't necessarily need a long time in that secondary cask to turn a whiskey around or to improve it. Anyway, thank you for watching. The Cambus 28 you can find on retail shelves. Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Illinois, and California. Sold out in Rhode Island, unfortunately, and this was released last October, so if you're looking for it, you should still be able to find some, but increasingly these are starting to leave store shelves. So if you're looking for a bottle, hopefully you'll find one soon. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Cheers, l'chaim, slanja, prost, etc. Cheers.